Hello, Helena. I'm Emily McVey. I'm the Executive Director of the United Way of the Lewis and Clark area. It's great to see you again. We're back for our second spotlight on United Way, and today we're going to cover all of the things that we do within our local office. And I'd like to introduce you to our Director of Development and Marketing.
Hi, Emily. How are you? I'm Dave Crenshaw. I am the Director of Development and Marketing for the United Way.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've been on HCTV to talk about all of the things that we do at United Way. And so that to let the community know, we are essentially the hub of the local nonprofits in the community. So what does that mean to you, David?
That means that we serve as a focal point to be able to organize the nonprofits in the area, help them communicate with each other better, help them in things like fundraising. Essentially, we're there to help them do their jobs better so that they can help the Helena community that's in need better.
Right. So in our collective impact terms, we call that we're the backbone agency. So we are the one sort of holding the spine together, holding the body together and helping the rest of the nonprofits do the great work that they need to be doing. So we don't provide direct services to clients, but we help those who do.
Yes, but we do have some direct services that we provide.
We do right now. What is that?
For example, our 211 service. If there's 911 that you can call if you have an emergency, but that's not all emergencies. There are some emergencies they don't cover. And for those, likely you can call 211. Do you need help with a babysitter? Do you need information on what have you? 211 is there. And you can get in touch with that by calling one of the operators at 211 or montana211.org, mte211.org.
Right, and so if you call that number, somebody from the Voices of Hope out of Great Falls is going to answer that. They're our regional call center. And so we try to keep up with all of our local information to make sure that if you call them and you say, I need a food box, who do I call? They'll refer you to the food bank. Yep. Or if you say, I need mental health services, they will go through the list of all available resources. There's a specific button for veterans. There's all kinds of resources that you can access if you call there. So out of our Helena office, we make sure all of that information on every local agency is up to date and accurate so that when you call, the operator there knows exactly who to refer you to. Luckily, the call center in Great Falls is also the suicide hotline and the Veterans Help Hotline, so calling that number gets you access to all kinds of resources.
Excellent information.
Yeah. So the focus of the United Way, our mission statement says our focuses are financial stability, housing and homelessness, and access to community resources. So that 211 really falls under that access to community resources. What other kinds of things that fall under financial stability?
Fundraising, to being able to support our 35 partners, and not just our 35 partners, but we also provide funding when it's been designated as such to nearly any of the many nonprofits in the area, working to help them make sure that they're funded and flowing.
Yeah, I think that's really important for people to know is when you designate or when you donate to the United Way, either through a workplace giving campaign or through our website or monthly donor program, that money all stays local. You can keep it at our United Way office, and then we give that out through community grants when that's available, or you can designate it to any 501c3 that you love and have passion for. So one of our biggest designated donors is God's Love. We give a lot of funding to God's Love through the United Way workplace campaigns because that's one thing that Helena is very passionate about. So they might not be a partner of ours, but they're definitely getting dollars through the United Way campaigns. And I think that's important for people to know is it doesn't have to be a partner. You can designate to anybody, right, any 501c3 that you love, and you just mark those things on your donations, and then we get that money passed through.
At the United Way, we don't play favorites. There's lots of organizations doing lots of great work, and it's our privilege to be able to be there to support all of them.
Right. So one of our collective impact programs that we run out of our office that has to do with financial stability is free tax help. And that right now has been a big focus in our office. It's definitely something that we're spending a lot of time helping out the community as far as free taxes goes. What does that look like for your day to day?
Well, the best option for most people right now with tax help is to go online to the United Way Worldwide's website of myfreetaxes.com. It's a very simple website. It will walk you through. You don't have to be afraid about it. It takes 10-15 minutes for most people probably to finish and e-file their taxes. If you don't have a computer, there's computer access. It's available at the public library. For those people that just absolutely cannot get on, though, we do have opportunities for appointments to be had at the United Way with someone that will take your information, we'll scan it into a computer, send it up to Rural Dynamics, who is the actual tax professionals that put it together. We're not claiming to be tax professionals at the United Way. You don't want me doing your taxes. I did mine online, but I really don't want to do yours. But we scan it, we'll send it up to them, and they'll take care of it for you. We don't have a lot of slots for that, not very many at all, so we really are highly encouraging people to get online and make use of myfreetaxes.com. That's a great service, and it really is nothing to be afraid of if you've never done it before.
Yeah, I think one thing to note, because I just helped my son do his taxes on My Free Taxes last night, when you go onto myfreetaxes.com, you do have to sign up for a code, and it does take about an hour to get that code back. So go sign up, get the code, and then it's ready for you whenever you're ready to go get your taxes started online. And TaxSlayer is the platform they're using this year. In years past, it's been a different platform, so it has changed a little bit, but it's the same process. It's very easy to go through and get your taxes done. And if you don't qualify for some reason to use myfreetaxes.com, the Montana Department of Revenue and the IRS both have websites with alternative free tax programs that you can use. Sometimes if you own property or if you have other assets, myfreetaxes.com isn't available for your use, but there are lots and lots of other resources out there. Yes, yesterday was tax day, but it has been extended to May 19th, so we are trying to continue to help scanning some taxes to make sure people get their taxes in and done on time. But like you said, we're quickly running out of appointments, and so using that online resource is the most valuable thing to do right now. And we, at United Way, we know that the people we're helping are elderly or disabled or low income, oftentimes don't own a computer or have internet access. So one of the things we ask of the community is please reach out to your local neighbor if you know they're older and may not own a computer, or call your grandma, make sure she got her taxes done. Reach out to those people that might not have access to getting online and doing that for themselves. Most younger people are very tech savvy, and they've got all the resources available to them. So if you know of anybody, make that reach and just check in with people, make sure they have that done. It's very helpful. Every year in the Helena community, we bring in about $1 million in tax returns. And so that's a really big deal for somebody who's otherwise living on a limited income. When they get those tax returns, that is very important for them.
Vast majority of people do get returns, do get money back from doing their taxes every year. And I do want to mention that because of COVID and limited volunteers, even RDI, Rural Dynamics, that's actually doing the taxes, have been really having a struggle trying to keep up with the flow that's coming in. So again, the best bet for most people would be use one of those online sources, because honestly, you'll probably get your refund back a whole lot faster than if you were able to had to go through our service. We're there as a backup, but we're not the optimum solution out there. That online resource is even better.
Yeah, and we do hope to get back to in-person assistance next year and back to normal. So
yes,
that's our goal. The third focus that we have in our office is housing and homelessness. And I know you don't work a lot in that arena, but do you have any thoughts on that before I go in to explain what our housing and homeless programs look like?
Well, I know that when I first moved to Helena, I needed assistance, and the United Way was there helping to connect organizations. I was working with Volunteers of America. They had limits on what services they could provide for me immediately. But because of their connection through the Housing Coalition that's managed by the United Way and the other organizations in the area, they were able to hook our family up with Good Samaritan that was able to get us some temporary housing until we were able to get something more permanent. And so, like many things, we facilitate that communication at the United Way between the agencies so that if you go to one agency and they're not able to 100% help you, they have a pretty good idea of who they can pick up the phone and talk to be able to connect you up with the right person. And if you don't know where to start, because we've got all those connections in the community, the United Way could very well be your first call. And we may not be the ones that'll solve your problem, but we can at least be the ones that can sit there and go, yes, for that, your best bet is to talk to, and pass you on over to that person, and even let them know that you're probably going to be giving them a call and that we recommend that they get good service.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really important to note that we get a lot of phone calls throughout the day, people reaching out for resources. So if you don't call 211 and you just call United Way directly, we can help get you to the resource agency that can help you with whatever your need is. And if we don't know, we have 35 partner agencies and about 100 other agencies that we work with, and we can reach out and say, here's a need, how do we solve this need? So that is what we're here for, is to help people find the resources that can get them what they need. So, our housing programs are growing and keep us pretty busy throughout the weeks. Jeff Boucher in our office has taken the lead on a lot of our housing programs, and we'll have him come in and go more in depth about what those things are in the coming weeks. But just so Helena knows, we have the Continuum of Care group, and we meet every Wednesday. Our front door agencies in town, that's Good Samaritan, Our Place, Peerview is Healthcare for the Homeless, which is housed out of God's Love, and the Volunteers of America. They all do intakes with people that come to their door and say, I'm homeless and I'm facing eviction and I need help. And so those front doors put them in a system that we call HIMIS, the Housing Management Information System. And every Wednesday we staff that group of people in the system, and we talk about what resources we can provide for them to keep them safe while we find housing. And then we help them find housing as well. So we do that once a week. We have 2 meetings a week called Helena Resource Advocates, and we call them General and Leadership. And the leadership team has 3 goals. One is to develop emergency housing, or sheltering for people, like when our shelters are otherwise full in the wintertime. But we also now realize we have other reasons we might need emergency sheltering, like COVID. Right. We found some new concerns that we're trying to address. We also are working on an alternative family sheltering option, not because the shelters that we have aren't great, but oftentimes they're full and we need more. We need to provide more services in our community. And then we also focus on case management. Right now, the Center for Mental Health and AWARE are both agencies that provide extensive levels of case management to people, so we rely heavily on them for that piece. But then the general group also meets, and we do a roundtable where we share information about what all the nonprofits are doing in town, and then we email out notes, sort of like a newsletter, a nonprofit newsletter once a month, so all the nonprofits know what each other are doing. We also we conduct the point in time survey every year. That was just completed, and what we know now is that we have a much higher level of homelessness in our community than we have in years past. So that's something we're going to be talking about and working on. And then we also have the frequent users of systems engagement team that works on people that use emergency services rather than our regularly scheduled services, because they are not living in a stable situation where they have access to a doctor's appointment or consistent mental health. So we're trying to work with those groups of people to help get them stabilized in our community and get the resources they need. So as you can see, lots and lots of things going on at United Way. There's actually more programs that we didn't even get to in this session. So we'll be back to talk more and to share more about the community impact programs that we have. We'll be bringing back many more of our partner agencies to discuss what they do in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. We'll see you all again next week.